Every Sunday, Amish families dedicate just a few hours to cooking and then enjoy 6 whole days without any kitchen-related stress. There is no more standing in front of the refrigerator at mealtime unsure about what to prepare, no urgent trips to the grocery store, and no wasted food. While the typical family makes 21 food choices each week, Amish families manage to make only one. Step into any Amish kitchen on a Tuesday evening, and you will see something extraordinary. There is no frantic searching through cabinets, no heated arguments about what to eat, and certainly no one gazing hopelessly into an empty fridge. Most households today fall into what researchers call decision fatigue, which is the scientific explanation for why your mind feels overwhelmed after making countless choices every single day. The average American family faces the same draining question repeatedly: what is for dinner? Here is the intriguing part. Studies reveal that people make roughly 35,000 decisions daily, and food-related choices consume a significant amount of this mental energy. Choosing breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and drinks, as well as deciding what to purchase, prepare, or order, can be exhausting. By Thursday, many individuals are so tired that they will eat anything just to avoid thinking about meal planning. Amish families found a solution to this challenge many years ago using a straightforward method. They make all their food decisions once per week instead of facing this dilemma 3 times every day. While most people are still standing in their kitchen at 6 o'clock in the evening, puzzled about what to cook, Amish families have already planned their meals and know exactly what they will eat. They choose their meals because they make their decisions on Sunday. The numbers reveal a lot when you analyze them closely. Most households decide what to eat 21 times a week, counting breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day for 7 consecutive days. In contrast, Amish families gather just once on a Saturday evening to plan the entire week's meals. Once this is done, there is no more daily food-related stress. It turns out the key to stress-free cooking is not some complicated app, but simply making all meal decisions before hunger and irritability set in. Here is the truly smart part. Amish women dedicate one long day to preparing all the meals for the upcoming week, spending about 6 to 8 hours on Sunday. After that, they are mostly free from heavy cooking duties for the next 6 days. Compare this with most families who invest at least 1 hour each day on meal preparation, cooking, and cleaning up afterward. The Amish method actually saves a significant amount of time and reduces food waste, which adds an even more fascinating dimension to the story. American households discard around 40% of the food they purchase, meaning that out of every 5 grocery bags, 2 end up in the trash. By contrast, Amish homes waste less than 3% of their food. Because Amish families plan every meal well in advance, nothing gets forgotten and left to spoil in the back of the refrigerator. This approach eliminates 3 common problems that most kitchens face. First, it prevents standing in front of an empty fridge, clueless about what to prepare. Second, it stops last-minute trips to the store due to missing ingredients. Third, it frees up your evenings so you are not stuck washing dishes when you would rather be unwinding. The true advantage of the Amish lifestyle goes beyond just food. When you stop making 21 separate food choices each week, like Amish families do, your mind gains extra energy to focus on more meaningful tasks. You can actually pay full attention to conversations during dinner instead of mentally scheduling meals for the next day. Helping with homework becomes easier without constantly checking the clock, anticipating when cooking must begin. There is a unique satisfaction in opening your fridge and finding a full week's meals already cooked and labeled, just as it is in Amish households. No stress, no last-minute rush, no ordering takeout because you cannot decide what to prepare. Only good food waiting exactly when you need it. However, the entire Amish meal planning system relies on one essential factor: organizing your kitchen correctly first. Preparing a whole week's worth of food in a single day demands serious order. Your kitchen counter might currently resemble a chaotic scene. Coffee maker here, toaster there, piles of random mail beside yesterday's dishes, and beneath all that mess is the precious, clear counter space needed for meal prep. The initial rule of Amish cooking day is tough, but critical. Clear everything off every surface completely. This is not merely about tidying or rearranging, everything must be taken away. Counters have to become pure work zones, meaning no decorative fruit bowls or knife holders remain in sight. The luxurious stand mixer you bring out only a couple of times annually, and yes, even that resilient plant that managed to survive 3 months without a drop of water, everything has to find a temporary spot elsewhere. The only thing more cluttered than most kitchen counters might be the infamous junk drawer that nobody admits to owning. Once you finally reveal some actual counter space, the real challenge begins. Amish kitchens follow a method that would make efficiency specialists burst with excitement. Every tool required gets gathered before any cooking commences. This practice is not just about ease, it is crucial for managing multiple tasks. When you are handling 6 dishes at once, stopping to look for a can opener or the perfectly sized pot can ruin your rhythm. Experienced chefs call this setup, and Amish cooks have been applying it for many generations. Gather every pot, pan, slow cooker, and Dutch oven you expect to use and place them neatly on your freshly cleared counters, like troops ready for action. Having everything at hand means the cooking process continues smoothly without having to abandon a simmering sauce to search through cabinets. The Amish divide their kitchen into 3 specific zones, a system so effective that it has been adopted by professional kitchens as well. The first area is entirely for preparation. This is where vegetables are chopped, meat is seasoned, and ingredients are portioned into small bowls. The second zone is all about active cooking. Anything involving heat, such as stovetops and ovens, happens here. The third zone is solely reserved for finalizing the food. This well-organized flow keeps the kitchen efficient and the cooking seamless. Organizing storage and cooling areas might seem needlessly complex, but they stop the kitchen chaos that often spoils long cooking sessions. When your prepping area remains tidy, you can continue slicing vegetables even as other meals are cooking. With a well-arranged cooking section, you avoid accidentally turning off the wrong burner. When your storage space is properly prepared, hot dishes cool down effectively and get stored safely instead of being left out for too long. The choice of storage containers is more important than most realize. Amish communities exclusively use glass containers and mason jars, and there is solid scientific reasoning behind this preference. Plastic containers tend to absorb smells and tastes over time, so leftover pasta sauce from last month lingers and subtly flavors everything stored later with hints of tomatoes and herbs. Glass containers do not retain these odors like plastic does. Mason jars are particularly practical because they stack neatly, seal tightly, and allow you to see contents clearly without opening them. Additionally, they are affordable enough so you can purchase many without overspending. Setting up your zones correctly and preparing the right storage containers may not seem glamorous, but this effort distinguishes successful cooking experiences from total fiascos. Once your kitchen becomes an efficiently running system, like a well-oiled machine, there is one crucial step most people overlook. The only product we ever recommend on this channel is a book by Claude Davis, a seasoned survival expert covering about 126 superfoods. Preservation techniques from challenging periods such as the Great Depression and wartime, which are rarely found elsewhere, inspired us to share this book. We feel it is crucial to pass down these methods and superfoods to our children or grandchildren, as we might be the last generation to do so. It would be unfortunate if this valuable knowledge about nutrient-rich foods and survival preservation vanished. Additionally, Nicole's store features a book on herbal remedies. If you are watching on television, you can search for our channel Frugal Solutions on your mobile device and access the books by clicking the link provided in the channel or video description. Many individuals approach meal planning the same way they handle retirement preparation. They recognize its importance but postpone it until it becomes urgent. Amish families tackle meal planning with the precision of a business meeting. They gather with paper, pencil, and a calendar to outline every meal for the upcoming 7 days before purchasing any groceries. This is not a casual chat over coffee about maybe trying soup this week. Every single meal is scheduled in detail. Monday breakfast, Monday lunch, Monday dinner, Tuesday breakfast, Tuesday lunch, Tuesday dinner, continuing through Sunday. 21 specific meals are carefully documented with no guesswork or reliance on last-minute inspiration. This planning session happens before any shopping, and the sequence truly matters. When you plan your meals ahead, you shop with intention and purpose. However, if you shop first and plan afterwards, you often end up with a fridge full of mismatched ingredients that fail to come together as proper meals. Surprisingly, many families in the United States have well-stocked kitchens but still struggle to prepare dinner. Although an average grocery store offers around 50,000 products, most people repeatedly purchase only about 150 items. At least there is consistency in this kind of confusion. Amish meal planning follows a method that would impress any number lover. They choose recipes that share key ingredients across several meals. Onions, carrots, and celery appear in most Amish dishes deliberately, not by chance. When you buy 10 pounds of onions, you use the entire amount in various recipes instead of letting some go bad in the pantry. This overlapping of ingredients leads to significant savings in both money and time. Rather than buying many different vegetables for each meal, you purchase fewer kinds that fit multiple dishes. This approach reduces your grocery expenses, shortens your shopping trips, and eliminates the frustration of having expensive, unused ingredients. The Amish group their meals into 3 categories to simplify cooking days. The first category consists of meals that are fully cooked on Sunday and only require reheating during the week. The second category, the first category involves slow cooker recipes where the base is prepared on Sunday, but the other ingredients are added throughout the week as the meals develop. The third category demands fresh preparation, but all the elements are ready to assemble. This system keeps you from facing the nightmare of spending 8 hours cooking on Sunday only to still have major prep work left every evening. When meals are properly sorted, weeknight dinners take no more than 15 minutes to heat, add, or put together. No chopping, no seasoning, no wondering if you have everything you need. Counting exact ingredient amounts is what separates effective meal planning from costly mistakes. Amish cooks carefully tally every onion, every cup of flour, and every pound of meat across all 21 planned meals. This attention to detail prevents waste as well as the annoying moments when you are halfway through cooking and discover you have too little of something. The planning stage takes about 1 hour, but saves you many hours during the week and avoids numerous last-minute grocery runs. After you know exactly what you need and how much, the next step is figuring out the smartest way to buy everything without going over budget. Purchasing a whole chicken instead of separate parts cuts your grocery costs by about 40%. Despite this, many people overlook the math. They see chicken breasts priced at $8 per pound and whole chickens at $2 per pound and somehow choose the more expensive option. Amish families learned long ago that whole chickens offer better value. You get so much more than just the meat from a whole chicken because it includes the breast, thighs, wings, and even the bones. These bones are perfect for making stock, which adds rich flavor to many other dishes. Learning to break down a whole chicken takes only about 5 minutes once you have the hang of it. One chicken can then transform into several meals: a roasted chicken dinner, chicken salad for sandwiches, soup made from the bones, and stock for cooking rice or preparing gravy. In contrast, buying pre-cut pieces means paying extra and discarding parts that could enhance other recipes. Purchasing in bulk can significantly reduce your grocery expenses, but it demands a different approach to storage. Large bags of staples, like 25 pounds of flour, rice, or oats, usually cost about half the price per pound compared to smaller packs. The challenge lies in storing them correctly because bulk foods can attract insects, absorb moisture, or spoil before you finish using them. Amish families tackle this by keeping these essentials in metal containers with tightly fitted lids. The metal prevents pests and humidity from getting in, and the large quantities can last for months. Nothing is more frustrating than running out of flour in the middle of baking bread, except realizing your flour has turned into a bug haven. Hearty vegetables are essential in Amish cooking since they remain fresh for weeks, even when stored for long periods. Potatoes, carrots, onions, and cabbage can stay good in cool, dark places for many weeks without spoiling. This is a stark contrast to fragile greens that wilt within 3 days or tomatoes that quickly become mushy. When cooking meals intended for an entire week, choosing vegetables that keep well makes all the difference. Freshness in vegetables holds more value than mere appearance, and root vegetables are considerably more affordable than fancy produce. For instance, a 5-pound bag of potatoes costs about the same as 2 bell peppers, but offers far more servings and essential nutrients. Carrots maintain their crunch for several weeks, while costly asparagus tends to spoil within a few days. Onions enhance many dishes and are priced much lower compared to specialty ingredients that contribute little extra to flavor. Proteins that can be used in various recipes simplify meal preparation and reduce expenses. Ground beef fits well into meatloaf, tacos, soups, and pasta sauces. A large roast can be transformed into pot roast one evening, and beef stew another, as well as sandwich meat for lunches. Whole chickens can be turned into several completely different dishes. Choosing proteins that work across numerous meals keeps the ingredient list manageable and the budget sensible. The key is to select proteins that have versatile cooking options instead of specialty cuts designed only for a single dish. For example, pork shoulder costs less than half per pound compared to pork chops, but provides more servings when prepared correctly. Dried beans and lentils cost a fraction of fresh seafood or premium steaks, but yield hearty, nourishing meals that satisfy hungry families. Although shopping this way may seem daunting at first because the cart appears to be stocked for an emergency, the quantities purchased actually make practical sense. Buying in large quantities can feel overwhelming if you are accustomed to purchasing only enough for one evening's meal. However, breaking down the expense per dish reveals that buying in bulk and choosing adaptable ingredients can lead to significant savings while offering superior nutrition compared to processed convenience foods. The true test begins once all these items are brought home and must be transformed into a full week's supply of meals within a single day. For example, dried beans require about 4 hours of cooking time from scratch, so they go into the pot first thing in the morning, not just when you suddenly realize you need them for dinner. The Amish cooking routine follows a precise schedule where the longest cooking tasks start before dawn. Large roasts demand 3 to 4 hours in the oven to reach perfection. Whole grains such as brown rice and barley take over 1 hour to become soft and palatable. Bone broth requires simmering for 8 to 12 hours in order to fully extract its nutrients and rich flavor from the bones. Although this timing system might appear complex at first, it is simply a matter of planning backwards from the longest cooking time. By 10 o'clock in the morning, the beans are halfway cooked, the roast is in the oven, and the broth is already steeping, filling the home with inviting aromas. Most people attempt to cook all their dishes simultaneously, which often results in disorder and stress. Amish cooks avoid this by staggering their cooking times, so each meal component is completed exactly when it should be. Every heat source in the Amish kitchen operates at the same time throughout cooking day, ensuring a harmonious and efficient process. The oven accommodates 2 or 3 separate dishes on different racks, while all 4 burners on the stovetop are occupied with a variety of pots and pans. Slow cookers take care of the recipes that require slow and gentle cooking. Some households even make use of outdoor grills or fire pits to increase their cooking capacity. When you are preparing 21 meals in a single day, you need every heat source available to be fully engaged. The only thing more active than an Amish kitchen on a big cooking day is the kitchen timer, which gets more use than a fitness membership. Basic ingredients serve as the cornerstone for several meals throughout the week. Instead of cooking rice 3 different times for distinct dinners, Amish cooks make one large batch that becomes the base for multiple dishes. The same concept applies to beans, lentils, quinoa, and other grains. Cook once and use many times. This method saves a huge amount of time and energy while guaranteeing consistent quality. One pot of beans can turn into chili, soup, and a side dish for various meals. A substantial batch of cooked ground beef is divided into portions for tacos, pasta sauce, and soup stock. Roasted vegetables made in bulk serve as sides for some meals, and ingredients for others. The secret is preparing base ingredients in quantities large enough to supply several upcoming meals. Bone broth deserves special mention because it elevates ordinary dishes to something exceptional. Starting a pot of bone broth early in the morning means it can simmer all day while you take care of other tasks. Different cooking projects can benefit greatly from using bones like those from whole chickens, beef bones bought from a butcher, or even leftover ham bones. These create a rich, flavorful liquid that enhances nutrition and taste in many recipes. Making quality bone broth requires patience but does not demand constant checking. Professional chefs know a crucial secret that many home cooks overlook: perfect timing. Achieving this means beginning early and maintaining careful organization throughout the cooking process. Amish cooks approach their cooking day like a meticulously planned show where every pot, pan, and heat source serves a well-defined purpose. Nothing is left idle, but nothing is rushed either. The key lies not in speeding up, but in working more cleverly. For instance, when the oven is heated for roasting meat, it's also used to roast vegetables simultaneously. When dicing onions for one meal, extra quantities are prepared for upcoming dishes. With all tools ready and the kitchen space orderly, tasks that might usually span an entire week are completed in a single day. This thoughtful manner of managing time and resources leads to an advantage that many home cooks never gain: efficient storage solutions that maintain freshness and order. Each container is meticulously labeled, ensuring nothing is forgotten or spoiled. Food poisoning causes 128,000 Americans to be hospitalized annually, mostly due to food being left out too long at unsafe temperatures. Amish households avoid this issue entirely thanks to their careful storage methods, which would impress even the most stringent health inspectors. Always label your food containers precisely with what is inside and the date they were prepared. This way, there is no uncertainty or hoping the mystery container holds something safe to eat. Labeling might seem unnecessary right after cooking, but after 3 days, when you are exhausted and hungry, you will forget if the container has chicken soup or beef stew. Use permanent markers instead of pencils because they do not smudge or fade. Write the contents and date clearly so anyone in your household can read it easily without squinting or guessing. Following the first in, first out method helps your household avoid accidentally eating spoiled food while fresher meals remain untouched at the back of the fridge. Always consume the oldest prepared food first. This practice is not only about food safety, which is important, but also about preserving the flavor. Soup that is 1 day old tastes better than soup that is past its prime, and bread that is a day old makes sandwiches taste much better than bread that has been sitting for 5 days. The Amish method of storage relies on a simple rule: new containers go behind the older ones. When you go to reheat something, you naturally pick the oldest meal first. This approach solves the common problem of cooking fresh meals while perfectly good leftovers go to waste because they are forgotten. On average, families throw away leftovers worth $1,500 every year. That is enough money for a great vacation, if only you can find time to travel between grocery trips. Grocery outings often come with the challenge of managing batch cooking, especially when it involves reheating excessive amounts of food at once. When soup is stored in a single large container, you have to warm the entire quantity just to serve a couple of people. Using individual portion containers allows you to heat precisely what is necessary without generating waste or unwanted leftovers. This method streamlines weeknight dinners significantly because you can simply grab one container per person, warm it up, and serve immediately without the need to measure, divide, or estimate serving sizes. In Amish households, meals are commonly prepared in containers that move directly from the refrigerator to the dining table, eliminating the extra step of transferring food onto serving dishes. Proper cooling methods are essential to prevent harmful bacterial growth and to preserve the quality of food. Large amounts of hot food must be cooled swiftly to remain safe for consumption. The temperature range that encourages bacteria to multiply lies between 40 and 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Food left within this range for over 2 hours becomes unsafe to eat, regardless of its appearance or smell. Splitting big batches into smaller containers allows food to cool more quickly because more surface area is exposed to the cool air. For instance, a gallon of soup in one big container may take several hours to chill properly, while the same soup divided among quart-sized containers will cool in under an hour. Faster cooling not only keeps food safe, but also helps maintain better texture when you reheat it afterward. Using ice baths is effective for containers requiring rapid cooling. To do this, fill your sink with ice water and place the containers in the bath, stirring occasionally to speed up the cooling process. Sometimes it helps to speed up the process once food cools to below 40 degrees Celsius, because at that point it is safe to store it in the refrigerator. Putting hot food straight into the fridge causes the overall temperature inside to rise and forces the appliance to work harder. Learning how to store food properly guarantees that all your efforts on cooking day will benefit you throughout the week. However, even perfect storage cannot compensate if you have not prepared suitable breakfast choices in advance. The human brain is not fully alert until approximately 2 hours after waking up, which explains why making decisions in the morning feels as complicated as solving advanced math while wearing gloves. Studies indicate that people often make their poorest food decisions within the first hour after waking, usually opting for whatever is easiest and requires minimal thinking. Amish families completely avoid this problem by deciding on breakfast menus on Sunday when their minds are fully alert. Overnight oats have transformed breakfast preparation because they demand no effort in the morning and actually taste better after soaking overnight than when freshly made. 5 mason jars filled with different flavor combinations offer variety during the weekdays without any morning hassle. The basic recipe remains consistent: equal portions of oats and liquid, plus whatever flavors you prefer. One jar might be apple and cinnamon, another peanut butter and banana, and yet another berry and vanilla. Each jar features its own unique taste, though the method to prepare them is always the same, starting with half a cup of oats, half a cup of milk or yogurt, a tablespoon of sweetener, and any mix-ins you prefer make that mixture unique. Give it a good shake, place it in the fridge, and breakfast for 5 days is ready without any extra effort. Monday through Friday are sorted with no need to make decisions or wash dishes in the morning. The only thing more challenging than deciding what to eat at 6 in the morning is pretending to be a functioning human before coffee kicks in. Baking muffins in large quantities turns hectic mornings into calm routines. 2 dozen muffins require about the same effort as 6, but provide breakfast options for 4 times as many days. Blueberry, chocolate chip, banana nut, or plain. Experiment by preparing several batches with the same basic muffin recipe, adding different ingredients for a variety. Freezing muffins in portions makes perfect sense, especially for families. Wrap 2 muffins per person for breakfast, freeze them immediately after they have cooled, then take out 1 pack the night before. In the morning, you will have perfectly thawed muffins that taste fresh without using a microwave, which often makes them rubbery, or waiting impatiently for them to defrost. Preparing bulk breakfast proteins removes the morning chaos of finding something filling to eat along with carbs. Cook 2 pounds of bacon until it is crispy, drain it well, and store it in containers. Scrambled eggs cook wonderfully in large amounts when you add a splash of cream to prevent them from drying out. Breakfast sausage browns easily in big batches as well and freezes nicely for quick future meals. Hard-boiled eggs deliver convenient grab-and-go protein, perfect for breakfast, lunch, or snacks anytime during the week. Cooking 12 eggs at once requires almost the same effort as preparing only 2, yet it provides ready-to-eat protein for 6 days. Begin by placing the eggs in cold water, bring it to a boil, then switch off the heat and leave the eggs to rest for 12 minutes. An ice bath stops the cooking process and helps make peeling easier. The key to efficient breakfast preparation lies in keeping everything as straightforward as possible. Individually wrapped items save time by removing decisions about portion sizes in the morning. Pre-portioned containers eliminate the need to measure or split servings while still half asleep. Everything should be ready to eat, with little or no heating involved. Morning routines function most smoothly when they require minimal mental effort. However, lunch poses unique challenges that call for specific strategies. Preparing 3 different soups on Sunday solves the lunch dilemma for the entire week. The secret is to freeze 2 varieties right away to avoid the temptation of having soup for 3 days straight. Soup actually tastes better after resting overnight, making it an ideal option for advanced meal prep. Flavors such as chicken noodle, vegetable beef, and split pea offer a variety of tastes and textures throughout the week. Cooking large batches of soup ends up being remarkably cost-effective compared to purchasing individual portions. 1 whole chicken is enough to make soup that can feed a family for 2 days. In addition, you end up with plenty of leftover meat for other dishes. Just add vegetables, noodles, or rice, along with spices, and you have satisfying meals for under $2 per serving. When you compare this to eating out, where restaurant soups often cost $8 for a bowl that is half the size, the difference becomes clear. Freezing soup demands some preparation because certain ingredients do not hold up well when frozen. For instance, noodles and potatoes tend to become mushy after freezing, so cooks following Amish traditions prepare the soup base without these components and add them fresh when reheating. This technique preserves the ideal textures and avoids the unpleasant overcooked flavor that spoils many reheated soups. The base freezes perfectly, while the final ingredients remain fresh. Baking several loaves of bread at once is economical and fills the home with aromas that instantly awaken appetites. Baking 4 loaves requires only slightly more effort than making just 1, but provides bread for sandwiches, toast, and soup accompaniments throughout the entire week. 1 loaf is eaten fresh, while the remaining ones are sliced and frozen in portions suitable for daily use. Freshly baked bread has a unique power to elevate even a simple peanut butter and jelly sandwich to gourmet status. It is the only food that can boost your cooking reputation without demanding any real culinary talent. Making sandwiches assembly line style turns lunch preparation from a daily hassle into a once-per-week project. Pick 3 different fillings such as egg salad, chicken salad, and tuna, and prepare enough sandwiches to cover several days in one go. Salads offer protein-packed choices that satisfy hungry employees and students alike. Each filling involves similar preparation techniques, but results in uniquely different tastes. Preparing large quantities of sandwich fillings is much more economical than buying individual lunch portions, and the flavor is superior as well. For instance, 12 hard-boiled eggs transform into an egg salad that yields 6 hearty sandwiches. One entire chicken supplies enough meat for a chicken salad suitable for serving 8 people. These homemade options feature higher quality ingredients and contain less sodium compared to commercial versions. Proper storage of sandwiches is essential to avoid soggy bread and keep them fresh for multiple days. Wrapping each sandwich separately in plastic wrap or aluminum foil right after assembling creates a protective layer that stops moisture from the filling from soaking the bread. Unwrapped sandwiches quickly become soggy and unappetizing, which no one wants to eat. Individual wrapping also simplifies creating grab-and-go lunches on hectic weekday mornings. Everyone can easily take their own sandwich without unwrapping others or deciding what to pack. This way, the work is done once on Sunday instead of every morning when time and patience are in short supply. Introducing variety into lunches prevents boredom without daily preparation. Rotating different soups, sandwich fillings, and types of bread provides enough combinations to keep meals interesting. Monday might feature chicken noodle soup alongside a fresh sandwich. Fresh bread on Tuesday is paired with tuna sandwiches, while Wednesday features a hearty vegetable and beef soup, and Thursday brings egg salad to the table. The system of serving meals on toasted bread works wonderfully for families with varied schedules and tastes, especially at lunchtime. However, dinners demand a completely different strategy that maximizes the benefit of longer cooking times. Life throws curveballs at everyone, Amish families included. Someone falls ill, unexpected guests drop by, or work timetables suddenly shift. The real difference between families who stay calm and those who become overwhelmed is not in avoiding these situations, but having backup plans in place for when daily routines crumble. Keeping frozen backup meals is a form of insurance against the chaos that disrupts even the best dinner plans. Stocking a freezer with ready-made dishes requires foresight, but spares you from staring into an empty fridge while everyone wonders what's for dinner. Pre-cooked soups freeze well and can last for several months. Loaves of bread, if sealed correctly, remain fresh for weeks in the freezer. Cooked proteins such as meatballs, chicken parts, and ground beef store excellently and thaw quickly when time is short. The only thing more certain than Murphy's Law is that dinner crises happen precisely when you are least ready to tackle them. Techniques for stretching portions turn small amounts of food into full meals when your carefully calculated servings run out too soon. What would usually be a single cup of leftover chili can transform into a hearty meal for 4 once you include rice, beans, and vegetables. Half of a container filled with soup can nourish the entire family if you increase the portions by adding pasta, potatoes, or bread. These clever techniques do not sacrifice taste or nutritional value. Instead, they help ingredients stretch further. Staples like rice, potatoes, and pasta act as essential base foods that soak up flavors while increasing the amount of smaller servings of pricier items. A small quantity of meat or sauce becomes much more satisfying when paired with rice or combined with pasta. Potatoes can be prepared in various ways, such as mashing, baking, or frying, to provide filling sides that complement limited amounts of protein. These inexpensive staples supply the volume needed to turn simple snacks into full meals. Emergency pantry basics make it possible to assemble complete dishes from simple ingredients when fresh produce is unavailable suddenly. Canned tomatoes, pasta, and cheese can be combined into a wide variety of meals depending on the spices and extras you include. Using just these 3 items, you can create spaghetti with marinara, baked ziti, or a rich cheesy tomato soup. Adding onions introduces deeper flavor profiles, and including ground meat results in hearty, satisfying dinner options. Stocking these emergency ingredients ensures your kitchen is never entirely bare, even when fresh foods run out or planned recipes fall through. Dry beans and rice offer affordable sources of protein and carbohydrates per serving, while canned vegetables contribute essential nutrients and enhance the taste of simple grains. Flour, baking powder, and a handful of other simple components come together to create fresh bread, biscuits, or pancakes whenever you need swift carbohydrate options. Quick bread recipes made with basic items bring a fresh side dish that makes uncomplicated meals feel more satisfying and complete. A simple biscuit recipe calls for only flour, baking powder, salt, and milk. These biscuits bake in 15 minutes and can turn a bowl of soup into a hearty meal. Cornbread requires cornmeal, flour, eggs, and milk, providing a robust bread that pairs wonderfully with beans, chili, or stew. Having emergency cooking skills is invaluable because they transform potential food shortages into minor setbacks. When you know how to make a few small portions go a long way, whip up meals from pantry essentials, and bake fresh bread using basic ingredients, running out of planned dishes does not lead to stress or costly takeout. Instead, you adapt and craft a tasty meal from whatever is on hand. The Amish approach to cooking day goes beyond simple food preparation. It is a system that offers security, savings, and peace of mind throughout the entire week. Their cooking day method removes daily kitchen stress and saves both time and money. One dedicated day of meal prep gives you 6 days of easy meals and valuable family moments. Stop making 21 food decisions weekly and start focusing on just one.